Hi everyone, I am Chelsea Cole. I am the blogger behind A Duck's Oven. So I'm here today to tell you exactly what sous vide is. So you have probably seen me talk a lot about it on Instagram and on my blog, but what is it? I really like it. I must like it for a reason. So I'm going to tell you. So sous vide cooking means cooking food in a water bath at a very precise temperature, and it gives you a longer range of cooking time. But mainly what sous vide cooking is, it's cooking food in a water bath at a very precise temperature. So the reason that this is beneficial is because you can cook things like steak and seafood and never worry about under or overcooking it. So when people talk about the doneness of something, so steak is the most obvious example. So if you want something done medium, rare, well, that has to do with the temperature. So what temperature does the center of that meat come to? So sous vide, you can set a water bath to exactly the temperature that you want to eat something. And then you can set something in there for 2 or 3 hours and it's going to be cooked perfectly because it never has an opportunity to get hotter than that. So hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. One of the greatest things about it is if you're like me and you really appreciate a medium rare steak, it's going to be medium rare from edge to edge. So it's not just going to be the very, very center that's cooked to that temperature, it's the entire thing, which is a much more enjoyable eating experience. So now that you understand maybe a little bit better about the concept, I'm going to show you how you do it. So I contain my water bath in this bucket. It's called a Cambro. You can use a Dutch oven, a stock pot, whatever you have on hand. Some of the super sous viders, as I like to call them, actually have like giant coolers with a cutout for their immersion circulator. I am not that cool. I just stick to this guy. So you're going to take your container and fill it with water. And then once you've got enough water in it, you're gonna wanna make sure to place it on a trivet. If you're like me and you have a cool container with a lid, you're gonna put that lid on. The benefit to having this lid is it prevents evaporation. If you don't have a container with a lid, I do recommend that you use something to help prevent evaporation. So there's something that a lot of people use that are called sous vide balls that essentially look like ping pong balls. You can also just use saran wrap or foil or some kind of lid for your container. So once you've got that ready to go, you're gonna take your immersion circulator and put it into the bath. If you don't have a container like this that's got a perfect little cutout, you're gonna have a gadget that helps you secure it to the side of your container. But I have this nifty little thing, so I don't need that. You're gonna plug it in. And then I'm gonna do this facing you, which means upside down for me, so we're gonna see how that goes. And then you're gonna set it to your desired temperature. So I am going to make egg bites here shortly. That's a recipe from my book, Everyday Sous Vide. It's all French to me. And so I'm going to set this to 185 for my egg bites. So I just do that by twirling this little dial up to 185, and then I press play. And then once I've pressed that little play button, it starts circulating the water. So when it's circulating the water, I mean, that's exactly what it sounds like. It's circulating through this little device here, and it's bringing it up to that precise temperature of 185, and it's going to keep the water at that temperature for as long as I want it to. I'll do cooks oftentimes as long as 36 hours, and it really does just keep it there the entire time. Of course, if you're in an area that's prone to power outages or something like that, maybe don't do longer cooks, but I frequently do cooks that are super long, and it does a great job of keeping it there. It's pretty incredible. So another benefit to cooking food this way is that you're going to pasteurize it. So if you've got folks that are a little freaked out about eating medium steak, like my father-in-law, for example, anything that you cook at 130 degrees or higher is going to be pasteurized after a couple of hours, which means all that nasty bacteria that we worry about is going to be killed, and it's going to be really safe to eat, even though it's kept at a really low temperature while we cooked it, and therefore is still medium, which is super cool. So now it's heating up. Usually with this lid on, it takes like 5 to 10 minutes. And next we're gonna cook some sous vide egg bites, so look out for that video soon.